And we're live back here at 2 o'clock Central for the Beef and Barnzy show with PBA League Mock Draft 2.0. I know you can't wait for this. I'm not sure I can wait for this either, but we got an interesting group today. That's for sure.
Yes, we do.
I guess first up, let's see. He has been an influential bowling social media presenter at about every level, and he is from Inside Bowling. Mike Flanagan.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. What an intro. Big fan of your show. Happy to be here.
I was going to expand on that. I'm going to be fair. You told me not to, so I'm not going to. But on the other hand, I got a novel from this next guy. He pretty much demanded that I make this kind of intro. He is an award-winning writer and monthly columnist for the Bowler's Journal. He's FloBowling's director, producer, and overall internet personality. And most importantly, he's the head of FloBowling's Power Rankings. The one, the only, Jeff Goodger.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Jeff.
Everybody.
Coming in with the energy, coming in hot right off the top. I love it.
You took it all. That was quite the intro.
No qualifying here. You're good.
I was told there would be a cashers round halfway through.
We're even qualifying just this one time. Our next guest, he is a two-time All-Star. He's accumulated 166 wins as a major league pitcher. He's also a recent PBA champion, PBA 50 star, John Burkett.
What's happening? Let's do this.
Come on, John.
Go D-backs.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's ugly.
And our final drafter, he has built and played on many World Team Challenge teams. He's a former Team USA member. He has fleeced many a fantasy football owner on trades, and he is now the CEO of USBC, Chad Murphy.
Today's the day. Today's the day. First big draft team going for the win.
Preparing for this draft, is there anything you guys want to add? You want to talk about as you embarked on your research for this vaunted mock draft?
I think I knew coming in that Goodger would be the best dressed. I thought that most all the way through the process, and so I'm glad I got that one right.
Thank you. I figured I would be made fun of either way, so I thought I might as well look better than I could while being made fun of.
He's going to give us stock market updates and coronavirus updates.
Stock market's pretty good today so far.
See?
How would it go?
So, hey, Chris, just quickly.
Yes.
Somebody brought this up. No, we're not going to have Mookie. We decided that pitchers were more entertaining than hitters, so we got Mr. Burkett.
It's 100% correct.
Pitchers are the brains in the sport.
Well, feel free to share what you'd like, guys, and we will get this thing started. We have our drafters here, and let's see. Jeff is going to draft for Vegas and Portland. Flanagan is going to draft for Milwaukee and the Atom Splitters. Berkey, he's going to draft for LAX and Motown. Chad's going to draft for Dallas and Philly, unless he's traded his entire team for somebody else's draft. Not sure yet.
I tried.
Yeah. He tried to make Flanagan the Bill O'Brien of the PBA mock draft. I'm going to draft for Brooklyn. So I'll be taking lots of Brunswick players. And Stu is going to draft for the New York City Kingpins. I guess we'll start this off. We got a coin flip here, and we're going to draft to see whether Jeff and Vegas heads are going to draft first, or Flanagan in Milwaukee is going to draft first. So I'm going to flip it up in the air, and you're not going to be able to see. And it is, though, tails, which is going to be Flanagan will be the first drafter. And
we are honored to have Phil Brylow in the chat.
Whoa.
There he is. What's up, Phil?
No lies.
And we'll try and keep you updated here. We'll keep a best available list going along the bottom. That is our current point standings. Only the top 75 guys are available. We do have each team has 3 keepers, which we went over earlier. But Stu May has a bracket up here, and you can see the Philly Hitmen have kept Don Barrett, Smallwood, Maldonado. The Styles, Walter Ray, Rhino Page, Brand Angelo, Motown Muscle EJ, Simonson Blanchard, the Atom Splitters, Svensson, Doherty, and myself. The Kingpins, Pete Weber, Marshall Kent, Kyle Sherman. The Strikers, Duke, Tommy Jones, and O'Neill. LAX, Belmonte, Buttroff, and Stu. And Portland and defending champions will have Palat, Prather, and Troop. Need the t-shirt. Don't choke the first pick. Here we go. We did have a contest to see who the first pick would be. And first up with this draft pick in mock draft 2.0, Mike Flanagan.
All right, everybody. I'm ready to shock the world. For the Milwaukee to be named later team, I have selected, after countless hours of research, times calling friends, family members, and all of the wonderful people on the PBA tour and influencers. I contacted the IBMA as well, IPSIA and BBIA, contacted manufacturers to figure out this pick. And my pick, a big surprise here, is Ryan Ciminelli. Ryan Ciminelli is my first pick.
Whoa. All right. We're not going with chalk. That's for sure. Right there. Number 37 on the board. Ryan Ciminelli.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
I wonder if we went another week without giving a prize away.
I am relatively well, I can't say, but
So
I don't know if they got that one right.
Last week we had a Beef Stew t-shirt giveaway for whoever picked the last pick. Nobody picked Martin Larson. And now this week, man, you're popular right now.
All right. Well, Milwaukee gets a round pick, and we got this thing kicked off in a hurry. Now, internet personality and FloBowling director with the number 2 and 3 pick from sunny Las Vegas.
It's nighttime.
Yeah, good.
Well,
I
the
love
only
the
thing
preparation you put into this. This is unbelievable.
this is how far I prepared. I knew that Flanagan would pick anybody but Sean Rash, so I was ready with my my first pick, which is the only pick that you can probably make in a legitimate draft, being that he is the only guy with Hall of Fame credentials currently. There are a couple of guys who are close, but he is the only one with Hall of Fame credentials, although he is 4th out of the guys who are in the FloBowling power rankings. There are 3 guys ranked ahead of him, but still, I believe, since I have been left with Sean Rash.
Our production value has gone up so significantly
Man.
since you've joined this. It's
Oh, it's
truly
me
amazing.
again.
All right.
Do I go again, or do we make fun of me?
I think the chalk pick there is that's the way to go.
Well, I was kind of thrown off because I was thinking if I had Rash for my second pick, I might want to put Rash and Ciminelli together, which I cannot. So we might as well just quit the draft at this point. But instead, for my second pick, to go with Sean Rash in Las Vegas, a true high roller on the High Rollers, which is a team name we're allowed to say. I'm going to take a guy who everybody says is so valuable and then nobody ever protects him, which doesn't make sense. Why doesn't anybody protect him? I think next year will be the first time in his career that he is actually protected on the Las Vegas High Rollers. And
You forgot his name.
no, I know his name. I'm looking for a picture of him.
Looking for a graphic.
Special effects.
I hope this is Dick Allen. Yes.
There he is. Dick Allen. All right, Stu, what do you think about that pick?
I mean, I was, to be honest, I was shocked he was available. It meant that somebody kept me over him. So I know that there was ripples in the bowling media, Jeff Wriggles, that I maybe shouldn't have been capped. But you know, I guess maybe I got capped because I could hook it further.
Well, at least there's a reason. There we go.
So I guess it's back to Flanny here.
Yeah, is that who we want to pick? Are we sure that's who we want to pick? Are we sure that's who we want to pick? Okay. Yeah, call Charlie. Call Charlie. Make sure we know. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Yep. All right. All right. Sorry, guys. The pick is in. Another curveball here for you. Going to shock the bowling world. Going to shock everybody here. Milwaukee here has selected a man that is two-sport athlete. He's a juggler and he's a bowler. We're going with Patrick Hanrahan with our second pick. Patty Hanrahan right here.
I was going to go.
Number
Give me my first
49
Be there.
on the current. Packy Hanrahan.
I'm just celebrating that I was able to spell it correctly first time. Boom! 2 drafts in a row that Packy went 4th pick. He's going to be.
Well, he actually said he's going to be upset that he wasn't in the top 3. That this thing would be a farce if that didn't happen. So, all right. Well, certainly not chalk so far. I'll give you that. He's going with the all southpaw lineup so far. Let's see. I'm not sure if we put a best available left-handed lineup left.
I have it right here.
The Ciminelli Hanrahan. And with the 5th pick,
I'm up again, right?
you are up again.
No, take your time, Mike. Take your time.
It looks like what we have Michael Holloman at 45.
Yeah, so in this particular case, this would be a non-traditional pick based off of the amount of events this young man bowls because of his other commitments in the bowling industry.
Oh God!
But he's a bowler that, as I'm making this lineup, is in my opinion a guy that can really contribute in a team environment. He's done it before at a very familiar tournament that another person on our broadcast today is ultimately responsible for what happens there, and had a broadcast earlier today speaking about the changes to that, to the Open Championships. And every time this guy shoot up, you said it on your last mock draft, that this guy, if he bowled all the time, would be better. And yes, he does whine when he beats you, Stu, and beats you pretty easily and says, you guys are just better than me. That's why I'm not out here all the time. And despite all those things, still at this point in time, as I'm trying to go feast or famine in this draft with the Milwaukee team, we are selecting Matt Mcneill with our 3rd pick.
Somehow I knew where you're headed there. Matt McNeill. Whew. All right. Well, certainly no chalk. I'll give you that. I'm not. Certainly if he was out there all the time, I think he would be higher in the rankings than, gosh, where is he at? 50.
Well, can I ask a question real fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike, in your thinking here, is Matt going to be moving off Patty or Brian? Will they be communicating, lane moves and how they're going to, or does it just not matter?
We're gonna work that one out once we have the team completely put together. Our lane play strategies up in Portland. So
Okay. All right. Just checking.
not really sure yet, but I can tell you that we're very confident in our picks thus far. And as you would say, Chad, I appreciate the question.
All right. Well,
Serious question coming in from the Barnes Mansion. Is Flanagan left-handed? No, he's not.
We're either going to finish first or last. That's basically our strategy.
Team Ricky Bobby. Got it.
Mike, is Ricky Ward on your list?
I was looking for him and Devers and Mazza and a few others, but I didn't make it down
Okay.
that far yet.
All right. It's Richie Wolf, too. Make sure you get Richie Wolf on the team.
Yeah.
Kurt Von Kruger was another.
Aha.
For.
Kirk Crumper. There you go. From a show, Wichita. Wichita, like 1988?
Yeah.
89, somewhere in there. All right, with the sixth pick, Jeff Goodger back on the board with Lost Wages.
First of all, is anybody else just enjoying the idea of Marshall Holman picking all lefties for the Milwaukee team? I am. Well,
irony. Yeah.
If this is the way it goes, it's going to make Philly and Brooklyn pretty happy. Because now I'm left with about 4 guys that I was hoping to get one of, and I am going to get one of the 4. And it's tough. In real life, this would come down to Rash and Allen, because in real life, my hypothetical picks are talking to Amleto Monicelli, and they would be conferring among my foursome as to which one to pick. And I'm not sure which way they would go, but I'm going to go the way I would have gone with one of my first 2 picks had Flanagan taken Rash, and I'm going to take, can't believe he's still there, Francois Lavoie.
Makes sense.
And Francois Lavoie says, merci beaucoup.
Do you?
Absolutely, Jeffrey.
2-time U.S. Open champion. He's 1 win away from the Hall of Fame eligibility, by the way.
There we go. All right, and now we get into
The important.
meat of our draft.
Here we go. So anybody who's not paid their dues probably isn't getting picked on this pick. If you're late with your dues, probably in trouble.
Yeah, I had to get to find a member and see make sure that they were in fact a member, not just going to become a member at this tournament, knowing that all of the PBA players are required in membership. But when I looked at this Philly team, and I'm taking a little bit of an unconventional approach here too, but when I think about Dom and Smalls and Maldo, and you think about the styles, he's gonna need somebody with him that he can understand from an arm swing perspective, and so very unconventional. But I've got Martin Larson as the 7 pick, as the best available player to fit within these 4 guys.
Chemistry matters.
Yes, sir. Very
Right
important. Very important.
This is hey Chris. This is why you do more than one mock draft. Martin Larson went from the what was the 28th pick, was it last week, all the way up to the 7th pick.
Well, and I could make a case here. I know lots of folks probably would not, but in addition to being one of the nicest guys in the field that could fit in on any of these teams, he really is one of the most experienced players left in this side of the draft. So good for Dom.
There we go. So now Chris is up with the Brooklyn Styles. Be interested trying to create some team chemistry there.
Good Good point. Good point. Well, I think it's actually fairly easy right now to go with who I think is going to be the next pick here, and that's the man who only goes by 4 names. AA, JJ, Adam Johnson.
Adam Johnson. So, Burkey, up to the plate.
Okay, well, so this guy, I didn't really know a whole lot about him before. I know you guys probably did. I know who he was, his name, but now I've become a big fan of the vlog on YouTube, and he's part of the house, and he's next on the list. So talk about chalk. I'm just going right there in line. Number 20, Brad Miller. Isn't that exciting?
I think it's a good pick. Josh still maintains his status of being a foot taller than everybody else on the team. It's good. Flanagan, you're up. Atom splitters. Just remember, Chris is watching. Baker's at home, probably poring over this draft, wondering what the hell you did with the first team. So don't screw his team up.
Yeah, Marshall right now. I actually already got 2 texts from Marshall, and he's like, "What the? Are you?" Yeah. So, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the selection for the Atom Splitters, as Mark Baker and I spent a lot of time yesterday on the phone going over this extensively. As a matter of fact, that's why I've got a couple bags under my eyes. We're up really late going over this one. I am selecting for the Atom Splitters. We're gonna take a former player of the year, a guy that this team can put in a 2-hole and teach them exactly how it is to be a team player. He's had a tough time getting into the draft, but I think he fits your team well. We'll go with Andrew Anderson.
Eileen.
So, Mike, with you picking Andrew there, is part of that because you feel somewhat guilty about having a camera in his face for the entirety of that draft that you were talking about where he didn't get picked?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Just, I mean, I don't.
It has to feel good to have a camera around and watching Andrew get picked. That's got to be a new experience for you.
It is.
We can send you a copy of this if you want. So I've got the Kingpins. We had some part of their draft last week. I'm not so sure that was necessarily the direction that Bill O'Neill had their team last week. And for reference, they ended up with AJ Chapman and Zach Wilkins. They went with an all-out power lineup. So I'm actually going to go in a different direction this week because, it would be boring to do the same thing each time. So I think that I am going to select for that team. I am going to select Nick Pate. He's been bowling very well this year. One of the most improved players on the tour. So I think keeping the relatively young team alongside Pete. Well, there we go. Dallas Strikers, your hometown team here, Chad. Although,
yeah, yes, sir.
Drafting could have the Dallas Strikers as their hometown team, but
I actually appreciate that, and with Duke being a part of this team, and then TJ and Bill, I'm not so sure that we can make a bad pick here, right? I think it's easy. I think Mr. Flanagan, he might be able to, but I don't think I don't think with those three that could take place. So from this, hierarchy that I have here, I've got nothing but good choices here, and so I'm going to put somebody in here that I think will certainly help out this team, kind of in the middle of the lineup. But then also, I think he would really enjoy bowling with these guys. It's Darren Tang.
Okay, nice. Another guy who's been fairly red hot recently.
Yes, sir.
That could have been an option for me also if I'd have kept my paperwork up to date a little bit better and hadn't already scribed him off my list.
That was a good PR move too there, Chad, because you guys are going to be streamed on Twitch during competition. So that was a good marketing move also.
Thank you.
Yeah, in hindsight, Chad, I think that I might have made my first mistake of the draft here. Darren, not that Nick's been playing anything other than fantastic recently, but Darren Tang did play, I believe, on that team last season, so that would have been an obvious fit to go back. So, my bad.
No worries.
I'll
absorb all the negative comments for you, Stu.
Oh, no, that's why we brought Chad on. No matter what he does, it's his fault. So we're all
Jeff, would you mind weighing in on the Darren Tang, Nick Pate, whether Stu was right or wrong there? I know you are somebody that follows the tour very closely and have some, a perspective that might make sense. And, like Stu said, it's, Chris's fault no matter what happens. So what would you think about that?
I think Stu's right. In retrospect, knowing that team, they probably would have saw, wow, Darren Tang is still here despite being the highest ranked player in the FloBowling power rankings who isn't already on a team. And plus we bowled him last year, so we will definitely take Darren Tang. I think that's what they would have done. However, Nick Pate is no bad consolation prize. So you didn't ruin everything, Stu, in this fake draft.
No.
Can you guys full screen real quick?
Fake? What? Fake? Is this a fake draft? This is fake?
No, I misspoke. This is sports entertainment.
Oh.
Can you make Goodger full screen, please? I need to write down him. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I got it now.
Looks like Kurt Gowdy done 1970 with that back trying to mesh in. Yeah.
So let's get our draft board back up there, Chris. Let's see where we're at.
All right. Here we go. We're at LAX, and
that's me.
Sheets is up.
Yeah.
I'll give you an inside tip here, Burkett.
How about this team, huh? This is the best team.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's Stu in there.
We're not really into throwing it straight. That's the tip that I can give you from the inside.
Bring it up. The next two guys, best available. They kind of fit the bill.
Yeah, I know. I like BJ Morris, who I was going to go with.
Okay.
BJ's a Pennsylvania guy. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and he's in Greensburg. I don't know him very well, but I always like the way he throws it. And like you said, he can hook it. So go with that.
No shortage there. All right. Well, let's see if I can get this up here. Lucky 13th pick. Going to the LAX. Benjamin Moore. All right. And that brings us to Portland and internet personality.
Defending champions.
Just so much better than we are.
Awesome.
Done this a few times, Chris.
All right. Well, we go with chalk, which is
this is an interesting team to hypothetically choose for. Tim Mack and Charlie Mitchell, they like the fit. They've already lost Ciminelli to whatever team Flanagan has in the first round, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, yep.
I think they would have gone with BJ Moore if he were there. Mitch Hupe is still there, and he was on their team last year. AJ Chapman would be the chalk pick, obviously. So I'm going to go with Osku Palermo.
Love it. That was a similar selection to last week's draft.
Was it? I apologize.
No problem. I'm just we now have a power ranking expert who is agreeing with our draft from last week, Chris.
Yes, evidently that is a good, approximately a good draft slot for him. Is right in the 14th, 15th range.
Keep in mind that he is unranked in the top 20 of the FloBowling power rankings. So whatever that means as far as justification here.
All right, Jeff. So am I. Back up.
And Chris, when you said it's approximately a good pick, is that a good pick or not? Approximately.
I think Oscar has been on the rise. He's bowled good this year. The best he's bowled in some time. Made a couple of shows. And obviously, I think he has some experience with that group. I think that's a pretty good pick for that particular team, or actually almost any team through here. I think he's going to be a good value guy.
So
me again?
Yeah.
Okay. So with this next pick, I think it's between two guys again with the Tim Mack, Charlie Mitchell contingent. And Flanagan took all the lefties. I'm going to go with AJ Chapman with this pick.
Okay. Hey, AJ Chapman.
Right. And that leaves best available.
Are we changing the? Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Thank you, Chris.
So, and that completes the Portland team. There will be Wes Malott, Chris Prather, Kyle Troop, Osku Palermo, and AJ Chapman.
Holy Reverite.
How would you like to follow them in the second match?
The Milwaukee won't mind at all. It just won't matter.
It's true. Although that being said, you'll need a new manager because Marshall has now officially tendered his resignation based off this start of this team. So
No, we negotiated a deal to sell his wine, so he's good. We took care of it.
yeah.
I was about to say, did Marshall not say something like, if you're going to leave me in the kitchen, you got to let me at least shop for the groceries?
Stu, I thought your foam finger was for Marshall's wine.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's the same name as the team. I don't know if we're allowed to promote on the Beef and Barnzy show, but
You can do whatever you want, Jeff. We're off the rails now.
Diamondback Wines, Hall of Famer Marshall Holman and his partner. There you go.
Diamondback wines.
Jeff, you look like you're like part of like a weekend update on Saturday Night Live today. Looks really good.
That's my next, after this draft, I'm doing one of those.
I thought so. Say hello to Lauren.
He won't speak to me.
All right. Well, back to it. LAX is now up on the board. They have Belmonte, Jacob Buttriff, Beef Stew, BJ Moore. Who can they find to fill out this all-in-shape team?
Wow. Marshall Kent here giving us the business there from Fort Worth.
Oh, yeah?
No, you.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You ripped just like Marshall right there.
yeah. Maybe not so much. Berkey, what do you got for us?
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah. Who'd you like to join? Belmonte, Buttriff, Stu, and BJ Moore.
Oh, okay. We're going back around. I lost track there.
Yeah, we're doing a snake draft. It's not like MLB. You know, we don't just the worst ranked team doesn't get to choose first every time.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with one of the local guys here in Texas. I live in Fort Worth, and so doing a lot of bowling around here. I run into this guy quite a bit. Actually, in league on Tuesday nights, we bowl in a sport league, and he can hook it too. So I'm going to go with Anthony Lavery Spar.
Well, I can tell you for one thing, you've been doing your research there, Berkey. He hooks it, and he's been on the team previous. That is a key to our draft strategy usually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sold on that pick? Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited about that team. That's good.
I just had a text from Packy saying that he was mortified that he was still only the 4th pick, despite being 49th in the rankings. So again, it's not a house shot doubles, Packy.
Yeah. I mean, tell him to put in perspective, Mcneill was drafted right behind him. So all right.
I got a few kind of weirdness with this one because of the flow of the team there, but I called Darren and I asked him about putting Michael on the team to bowl with those 3 guys, and so we kind of flipped back and forth, and then I think Bill O'Neill's in like this weird argument with those guys in the house over who stayed with where. And so I'm kind of confused about that too. So it's probably good Brad Miller landed where he did, because I did like Brad for one of these spots. But I'm going to put Chris Vi on this team. I like Chris, the way he looks at it. I think he'll fit in with these guys. He and Darren can hang out while Norm's doing whatever he's doing, and Billy and Tommy are arguing over something. And so that'll give Darren and Chris something to talk about in between shots.
So, Chris, you know how we talk about Norm has this reputation. He picks somebody based on, them bowling really well in a South Region event next to him.
Pretty much, yeah.
Seems like that Chad's gone with the tactics of if you bowl well in a USBC event, I'm all in on you. Chris just making the TV show at the US Open clearly didn't hurt him. And Martin Larson, who is literally a professional USBC Masters bowler, you can almost pencil him in for that roll-off, 4-man roll-off, dominating Chad's thinking.
I didn't really, put that together, Stu, but I love it that you have it. Because I thought Norm was that I couldn't put anybody on top of him, right? And so that was a lane play thing with, TJ and then Bill in the middle. But I can go with that because I do think that, we do offer some pretty stern tests. And so some of the better players do well in our tournaments.
I don't actually know if you've watched the PBA league, but it's probably not accurate for the lane conditions.
Yeah, well,
not quite the World Team Challenge.
No. Not like when Chad was on Team Ebonite Nitro R. Just Ebonite Nitro.
I don't remember that, but yeah, Nitro R, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. Anyway, I think we've got a pretty good team there with those, 3 kind of all worlds and the 2 future worlds to go with them. So I like our chances.
Duke, Jones, O'Neill, D. Tang, and Vi. There's not much to argue with there. That's a pretty strong group.
I think that based on experiences in the past, that Carolyn tends to like guys who quietly go about their business, and she's got Pete as the kind of explosive presence. So I think that the person I see that fits best into their team dynamic may well be Jason Sterner. So I'm going to pick Jason Sterner.
Right. Solid pick.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I knew you needed my backing on that. So
No, but it's always nice. It's like in a fantasy draft, NFL, when everybody goes, good pick, good pick. Well, yeah, he was third on the list, and the next guy's 17th. So, yeah, I liked it. But, so who have we got as our best available, Chris?
best available on the board now.
I believe it's Mitch Hoope. Yeah.
They are still on the board. I got a couple of guys to take off on this screen here, but we got.
So it's going to be Hoope, Peters, Larson, Thomas Larson variety. And then it's gonna be DJ Archer
You're taking DJ Archer.
next. And then you got
Oh,
Zach
sorry.
Wilkins.
Yes, this is your Hoope, Jake Peters, Thomas Larson, DJ Archer, Zach Wilkins, followed by Patrick Gerard, Gomez, Cooley, Holloman, Tang, Richie Teese, Chris Sloan, Ostrander, Ronnie Russell, Arturo, Sean Lavery Spar, Greg Young, Matt Ogle, Nick Crummell, Ildemaro, Matt Sanders, Kenny Ryan, Nathan Bohr, Cameron Doyle, Zeke Bate, Brandon Novak, Brian Robinson, B-Rob, Graham Faw. And the last availables are Ryan Schaefer, Michael Davidson, Jake Rollins, Chris Slowshetter, Michael Martell, and Pontus Anderson.
I just got a text message from a PBA bowler asking if someone can perform a wellness check on Mike Flanagan to check he hasn't taken a blow to the head. I'm only just like relaying the message that I got.
We're good over here.
Yeah, and I had a question too, Mike. When you were just on the phone right there, was that Tom Clark that you were talking to, explaining that what you've done here, is a little bit different than?
No, sir. Caller, would you identify yourself, please?
DJ Archer.
We're talking about where he should go in this draft.
Okay. Well, being as you have control over about 3 picks left, he's got some good options, I guess.
Yeah. So who's up?
Well, let's bring the draft board up and see.
Let's bring the draft board up, and Flanagan is up with
The Atom Splitters.
the Splitters.
Okay, let me finish my phone call. DJ, would you like to bowl with Chris Barnes, Jespers Vinson, Tom Doherty, and Andrew Anderson? Would you be open to that?
Please say no.
Absolutely, I would be. Yeah.
You would
Absolutely.
be. You would be.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
well, we'd love to have you on the team, buddy. If you wouldn't mind, just go ahead and announce that the Atom Splitters will select yourself. Would you do that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. With the
Yeah, you're the final pick here, buddy.
okay, in the 5th round, the Atom Splitters would like to bring back DJ Archer to a member of the team that he was on there last year.
And how do you feel about being selected on that team again, DJ?
I mean, I'm excited. The last year, and that I've been on that team, we had great chemistry. All of us get along, obviously, and it's a lot of fun to bowl with those guys. So, my pleasure to be back on the team with Coach Bakes, Mr. Barnes, and Tom and Andrew and Jesper. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, DJ. We appreciate your time. We're looking forward to getting the team together. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good day.
You too.
Hey, Chris, I know DJ's off the phone, but just I know you'll talk to him because we'll do that as part of your team. Would you mind asking him a question for me when you get him?
Yes, sir.
Would you ask him if Mike gave him the option of bowling with the 3 lefties so that he could have the lane to himself in the a few picks down the road before he made that pick here? Because I think there's something there.
Great question. And so I would definitely get that to him because he definitely likes to bowl in the fresh as much as possible. Flanagan, I got to say this for the first time. I think you've made an excellent pick.
I greatly appreciate that very much, Chris, coming from you. Thank you.
Yeah. That's a chemistry pick. That's the Dancing Bear. He's been really good. He's been really good for us in the past. So
there we go, Chris. Possible lineup: Spencer, Eileen, Archer, Mr. 100, and Barnzy. Not sure you'd have been my first pick for the anchor spot in that team, but
fair enough. Fair enough. All right, who we got next? Draft board is up. The Motown Muscle is up. Berkey is back.
That is me.
On the clock, you have EJ Tackett, Anthony Simonson, Josh Blanchard, Brad Miller. So basically, you're not allowed to pick any. Well, Blanchard's almost 5'10", but you can keep this one 5'6" or under.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Best available would be Mitch Hoope, Jake Peters, Thomas Larson, not DJ Archer anymore, Zach Wilkins.
I'm going to go with a off the board kind of, off the grid kind of thing because I think he did really well last year, and I love the way he throws it. And I think he's going to do well this year if and when we bowl. And it will be my pick will be Greg Young.
Okay, nice.
All right. He's taller though, right? He's going to be by far the tallest guy on my team there.
Yeah, he's playing center without a doubt.
Yeah.
So, Greg Young, what do we think about that? Jeff Goodger?
I like it.
Thanks for expanding on that. Chad has a little history with Greg Young. He's watched him bowl over the years.
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I like Greg. When I rank my guys, Greg went up pretty far in the draft, so I like that pick a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think he is a stretch above, well above where his ranking is, particularly how he's bowled the last 6 months, basically since last summer. He broke out of he and Cameron were in a little funk, and he's broken through and made some step ladders and made himself a nice little run.
I remember some guys at one time that went out on tour, and they, it took them a little while to kind of learn, how the lanes broke down and those types of things. And I think Greg's one of those guys that's got a chance to really do well.
Me too. He's ready to break out. Seems like there's one or two of those guys every year that surprise everybody. So I think he might be one of those.
I agree. Let's see. I guess I'm up next with the Brooklyn Styles.
Did you want to give Walter a call before you make this pick?
I tried to get Johnny on, but it seems somebody's cut the actual physical phone line to his house, and so he might not have been able to answer. Let's see. We got Walter Ray, Rhino, Angelo, Adam, and wow, that's an interesting team. There is a guy who has thrown a ton of strikes and has some experience in this as well. He's also Canadian, but I'm not going to pick him. They don't have. I'm actually going to go with Chalk. A guy I like a lot. I didn't expect him to be available here, and he is the highest ranked person on the board. Mitch Hoope.
From the sidelines, Thomas Lawson might have been a viable pick there, being as he rooms with Brad Angelo.
Good point.
Just throwing it out there, not saying that that's necessarily something that, takes precedent. People at home who don't, they're two guys who aren't necessarily throwing themselves out on social media all the time. So,
yeah, no, that's a good point. Is that Thomas actually might have been a better fit there.
Okay, Chad, you're up with the Hitmen. Who are you gonna bring to for Dom, Smallwood, Maldonado, and Larson of the Martin variety?
Yeah. This pick for me, again, in thinking about that team, I'm kind of going against. There's three guys here for me. I won't spend the day going through it, but I want to see a little fire from this pick, and so I'm gonna take, I think, what is the chalk, and Jake Peters lands on this team for me, fitting in with these guys pretty well.
Okay, Jake Peters actually got drafted on this team last week, and we raised the point that he bowled on this team last year when Maldonado got injured, and he opened every frame.
Well, yeah, and that's okay. That's okay, though. I think if you look at the guys that are available on my list here, I got 5 guys in a row there, and I think Jake will make a nice comeback from that. He's a Wichita Stater. He's going to fit in personality wise. I'm not sure exactly what Mr. Flanagan's going to do with these next pieces of business, but I just thought he fit here better than the other 2 options that I had on my board.
Okay. All right, Jeff, we're back up to you. We're skipping back around because you're now picking your 4th player.
All right. Well, I agreed with Chris. I didn't think Hoope was going to fall all the way to his selection with Brooklyn. And as he started to fall, I was hoping he would keep falling because I thought he would have worked great with my existing roster and Francois, and although it would have made it 3 Wichita State guys, which I guess every team has 3 Wichita State guys, so what's the difference? So instead of taking Hoope, who I can't, I am going to go with Patrick Girard.
Okay. Patty G. Okay, Flanagan. You're up now for 2 picks to shock the world.
Matt Sanders, you got a copy?
How's it going, Mike?
I'm doing well, Matt. I've been drafting this team here on this fantasy draft online. That actually, I just got confirmation. These are the actual teams this year now. And we've got this team built right now that's probably one of the most dominant teams I've ever put together in the history of all sports, professional sports you've ever seen. We've got Ryan Ciminelli, Patrick Hanrahan, and Matt Mcneill thus far. And you possess a certain quality that we're looking for in a young man. And we thought you'd be a great fit being a prior rookie of the year on the Professional Bowlers Tour. And we'd like to see if you'd like to be part of the new franchise team of the Milwaukee. We don't even know our names yet. Would you like to be part of the team?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's kind of cold up there, but I will definitely be part of that team.
Okay, Matt. Well, go ahead and announce yourself that you are going to be the 4th selection on the Milwaukee team, please.
I, Matt Sanders, will be the 4th pick on the Milwaukee something team.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch with all of your new member info packet of information to go through. The contract will be over in a couple hours.
Great. Awesome. Thanks,
Matt.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just I'm receiving live updates right now. I had another text from Packy. He's calling his shot. He's saying for the next draft, I'm definitely going to win Cheetah. You need to increase my stock.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there, making a call.
I like a extremely confident teammate. And that's what we have there.
Several of these teams exhibit that quality, by the way.
Okay.
All right. Well, this
He's making another phone call.
No phone call on this one. No phone call on this one, guys. So before we make our final selection, because I don't want Goodger to have to deal with the pressure of the last pick and all of these qualified players that aren't going to be drafted, I do want to send out a shout out to everyone on the list that made the list. You're in the top 75 for a reason on the PBA tour, on the points. You deserve to be part of a PBA league, and I hope it continues to expand. With that said, Milwaukee, again, is going to shock the world this afternoon on the Beef and Barnzy show. And we are going to select a southpaw to round out this team. And we also have a strategy that is known as human rain delay. So we are going to take a very slow bowler that's working on it. We're going to work on it in the off season so we don't get too many shot clock violations and we can collect prize money. But we are going to take Michael Martell with our final pick.
So Flanagan throws the 2-year point list in the air, skips past Michael Holloman, also left-handed, Kenny Ryan, also left-handed and has slow bowling issues. That's where I thought you're going. I already wrote Kenny Ryan down.
obviously I put in the wrong Michael first. So
You just spell it slightly differently. I'm still not quite sure how I spell that.
So Ciminelli, Hanrahan, Mcneill, Sanders, and Martell.
Yep. Very proud and very happy with our team.
I don't foresee you being in line for a management role when they expand again.
Hang on, this just in. Yes, Marshall Holman. Yes, Marshall. You want to tell him or you want me to? Okay. Yeah, you've been fired as the GM. All right. And Mr. What would you call it, Stu? This is the opposite of the NFL draft. This is not Mr. Irrelevant. This is Mr. Very Relevant. To join Rash, Allen, Lavoie, and Gerard as the all-Canadian duo there. Who are you going to go with your fifth and final pick?
Well, as Flanagan was taking longer to make his final pick than Martell takes to throw a shot, I was also thinking he was going Holloman until he said he was a slow bowler, and I was trying to remember, is Holloman really a slow bowler? I don't recall that, and I generally have a pretty good memory of who the slow bowlers are. And but with this team, and with knowing what not Marshall Holman has done with his team, Sean Rash and Dick Allen, the grizzled veterans, are going to say no lefty on our team. And they are going to make it 60% Canadian and go with Zach Wilkins.
All right.
So there we are. Mock draft 2.0 is complete.
Exactly.
Wildly different to last time. with a couple of exceptions, obviously. But yeah, Flanagan came, he saw, he destroyed the draft order, and anarchy in his wake. But there we have it.
Out of curiosity, are any members of the Milwaukee team the same as last week?
Packy Hanrahan was on the team last week.
Okay.
Look.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, unless you're not the main screen, Chris.
Oh yeah, there you go.
This is
That's better.
that's what we had last week.
To your left. There we go. So DJ stayed on the same team. Oscar and Vi, as opposed to Oscar and Chapman on the Lumberjacks.
ALS stayed at LAX.
Yeah.
Pick earlier. Yeah.
The Atom Splitters switched Brad Miller for Andrew Anderson, kept DJ Archer. Brooklyn Styles, two completely different picks. They had AAJJ and Hoope. Motown Muscle. They went with Brad Miller and Greg Young as opposed to Tang and Sloan. So, yeah, there was quite a bit of a change around, and I'm sure we could do this another 2 or 3 times, and it would be different every single time. So, yeah, as per normal, comment and let us know how bad we did. And just remember, it's always Chad's fault.
Hey, I want to talk about bowling for a second, since the subject of slow came in.
Yep.
So, what? I mean, do you get guys? Do you have guys that stand up there in their set position? Is that what bothers you the most about slow, or like that they're here locked in for so long, or is it because they wait for both pairs to come all the way off the lane before they bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly when they do both.
Yes.
Okay. But I mean, I think it would be hard. I think it's easy to teach the second thing, right? You just got to pay attention and be ready and get up there as the other guy's bowling. But I think when someone's standing there in their set position, taking a long time, it might be a lot of thoughts, right, in their head. And
Yeah, but I think the difference between a quick guy and a slow guy in that is about 5 to 10 seconds at the most. The problem is the guys who aren't ready to go when it's their turn. Like, as soon as the other guys let go of the ball, you should really be starting to step up on the approach.
Right.
And that's just nowhere near happening. And I don't know. I personally think that that's the worst thing in professional bowling right now is how long it takes. And people just don't want to contribute, like commit to that much time in their day to sit and watch it. And if we bowl quicker, then we could have longer formats, or you know, we could have the crowd there for longer or whatever, just because it'd be more exciting. There's more things going on. I know I can rely on Jeff to be like here on those bowling quicker. He's definitely on that team.
If you guys are going to bowl for 14 hours, you should bowl 40 games.
Well, I think me and Kim Bollaby could accomplish that, but I don't think anybody else could.
Hey, Chris, on that subject, historically though, aren't there always 2 or 3 guys that bring it all down? I mean, you think about 20 years out there, isn't there always? It's not the same guys, but there's always a small group.
No, I mean now historically, yeah, there's always at least 2 to 5. They used to split them up and move them around, but really, once you have a couple, the whole thing bogs up behind it.
Oh, you bowl one squad a lot, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So either way, you're kind of stuck, and now the commonalities tend to be they bowled in college. So
I don't understand. I mean, like, to me, whenever the guy over here is done, I'm waiting for this guy. Whenever he starts walking to the line, I'm up there. I mean, I'm excited to bowl. I want to bowl. I don't understand why would somebody wait until that guy gets completely done and comes off? I mean, is it just they like that pace? They like being slow? Is it?
Mostly, I think it's people just not being ready.
Right. Yeah. They're just not. Yeah.
Hey, John, let me. Why does the batter step out the box so often?
Oh, that drives me nuts. And I can't. And the thing that I couldn't stand, like Ricky Henderson, was the worst. he would wait till his name got totally announced before he would come off the on deck circle. He was not leaving on deck. Most guys start walking up there, and then they announce their name, and they're right there at the box. Ricky, he wanted to hear that name, and then he was gonna do his little slow walk to home plate.
Yeah,
but everybody can cheer him, for that time.
But I mean, I seriously, but on a serious
I
note,
like Ricky, though. I played with him for a year. He was cool. But go ahead.
On a serious note, though, I do think that that's been an issue with baseball in that the games are taking so long.
Sure.
And I think that bowling, obviously, it's a lot smaller issue crowd-wise, but at the same time, I do think that that is a negative for us.
You can watch an entire baseball game and still have 4 games of qualifying at the end from an 8-game block. And then another block after a quick break.
See, you guys are around bowl. I could watch bowling all day, but for me, baseball, I just can't watch it. It's just
I'm right there with you.
it's just boring to me. Now I watch the playoffs of the World Series, and I'll fast forward, through a lot of it. I watch the little yellow boxes in the corner, the bases, and when guys get on base, I stop my fast forward, and I want to see if the guy pitches out of it or not. So I'm just watching the action.
Yeah, it's great. You're like the exact opposite of everybody else watching baseball. That they're all for man, is there going to be some runners on base? They're going to hit this thing out of here. You're like, man, I really hope the pitcher gets out of this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm looking if a guy can pitch out of the jam. But,
All right. Well, let's go around the horn here. Let's see. Tell me who the top 2 teams are, and who you have winning this whole thing. We'll start. We'll start with Flanagan since he did what he did to this draft anyway.
Well, I didn't analyze other people's teams, Chris. I was worried about my own. But the reason why I did this was not to cause a bunch of craziness or whatever. The real reason why I did this is I think it would be cool if one year there was an all lefty team in this thing. It would add more talking points. It would make more people react, which I think would be good for bowling. And you never know what could happen with a team of all lefties when they feed off of each other. And I do realize a couple of the people that I picked don't necessarily like to follow each other and stuff like that. I didn't quite get that technical. I just wanted to put together an all lefty team, and I like it. I think it's cool. But I also was fortunate enough, you guys gave me the opportunity to pick an entire team. And Chad, truthfully, that's one of the biggest reasons why I didn't end up doing a deal with you, because I would have done a deal to just make it fun, because I think there should be more trades in the PBA league, and there's not. I know what you were trying to do, and I would have liked to have done that, but I really wanted to draft this all lefty team. So that's part of the reasoning why I wasn't chomping at the bit to do that. But I enjoyed being here today. I think the logical picks in this draft that were made were good. Most people took this 100% serious. And I think I kind of like the Dallas Strikers again. I definitely like the Strikers. I think the Atom Splitters are pretty strong too. Those are 2 teams that do really well in the league in general. And it's basically led by who their team managers are and who their protects are. So those would be my picks.
Over to you, Jeff.
Go ahead, Stu.
I said over to Jeff, the king of the power rankings.
Yeah, this might be the most accurate of all.
Qualified, right?
Yeah.
Well, I like what I was able to do with Portland, but I also started with Malott, Prather, and Troop. So that's pretty good, and defending champions. So, and they will once again be the home team. So we get to call them the hometown Portland Lumberjacks, which I don't like hearing that. So I don't know why I just said that. Just call them the Portland Lumberjacks. So I think I did okay with them. I'm actually quite happy with what I did with Las Vegas, being that they started with no one, although that was drastically assisted by Flanagan to be able to do that. But outside of my own teams, I like what Burkett did with Motown, with Brad Miller and Greg Young. I was hoping to get Miller on one of my 2 teams, and the Young pick is a good pick, plus Tackett and Simonson and Josh Blanchard, the second tallest man on the team. Otherwise, I also like Dallas again. Dallas is always good. So I just named 4, which is no longer half. That's only 40% of the teams, and only 2 of those are mine.
All right. Chad?
Yeah, I wouldn't get a whole lot different there, but I think it's probably between Dallas and Portland there with your atom splitters. I would assume one of those three teams will come out on top.
How about you, Berkey? Come on, stick up for what you picked in the LAX. Come on.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my lineups first. So my Motown Muscle, because this isn't my lineup, right? This is just the round.
Here you go.
Right. So I'm going to lead it off with Blanchard and Miller. My two guys that are pretty good playing straight. And then I'm going to put Young third, the non-pressure situation with the rookie. I don't want to expose him to pressure early, and late in the match. So I'm going to stick him in the middle. And then the Tack and Simonson, I can flip him either way, but I think that Simonson's a bit better under the pressure. I like his track record overall. They're pretty close, though. I could go either way. But anyway, that's my lineup there. My LAX lineup would be I'll go with the lefty because I don't like lefties. We only have one guy here that likes lefties, right? I'll get Jacob leading off. And then let me see. I'll probably go ALS going second. Stewie, again, I don't want to put pressure on Stewie. He can't handle it. So we got to keep him in the middle. Don't expose him. And then we got BJ Moore. And then, come on, you got to have Belmo at the end. And I think it's definitely the best team. My favorite team other than that team, I think, would probably be Portland. Love Prather, the way he's throwing it. And, Troop. And you got some young guys in there. A nice mixture with Malott, as the veteran.
Hey, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Which one of these teams couch coaching?
Philly.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to hear whether Couch would actually trade with Marshall for the coaching duties. I'm not sure he would. Just something to think about.
For Ronnie Russell to make the team, though.
Say that again. Sorry.
I think it makes a lot more likely that Ronnie Russell makes the team, though.
Oh, okay. Well, I just just seems like a natural for that activity. But
yeah,
I picked that one up when John said that Mike's the only one that likes a lefty here. I had Couch in the brain right off the gate when he said that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Marshall would gladly trade him. Probably at this point, not sure what he's going to add to that group right there at all.
All right, Chris, are we? That is about a wrap for us, or are we going to? Because I mean, let's be honest, we're both going to stick up for our own teams.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that the Strikers probably had a home run. When you start though with 3 Hall of Famers, you're a little ahead of the curve, but you're not asking a lot out of those 2 guys, and that's a lot of power and a lot of recent TV experience in there. But yeah, Portland's going to be awfully good again with that lineup. I think no matter almost like what you do, Dallas is going to be pretty good. We're always an interesting collection of personalities with the splitters, and yeah, the only team I really don't like is Milwaukee. So. Who got overlooked? Who do you think, if you had a do-over?
Thomas Larson wasn't drafted, that's all.
What's that?
Larson. I feel like Andres.
Yeah, Andres Gomez.
Yeah.
You're gonna say I'm doing it against you, but is Chris Sloan? Like he's somebody that got a little higher on my list than maybe some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm. We drafted Chris Sloan last week.
Oh, did you? Okay, so it's not that far out of the.
Yeah, he's a guy who also, because this is a more than a year rolling list, and hit more of his success like Greg Young is on the back half of it. He hasn't moved up as much in the points. But yeah, I think Thomas Larson was that was an overlooked pick. I agree. I think Sloan has a really good chance. He's bowled well in USBC events, ironically enough, that you bring that up. He did have some success there with Michael Holman.
I think if 5 lefties, I think that Michael Holloman is probably unlikely to still be not bowling.
Say it again, Stu.
I said if 5 lefties are going to get picked going forward, I can't imagine that Michael Holloman isn't going to be one of them.
Probably a good point.
So that's all I've got for you. Thank you, Chris. We're wrapping it up.
Yeah, guys, I really appreciate you taking time out. This took a little while, and
I really enjoyed it.
we had a really busy day. You guys got anything you want to say on the way out?
I wouldn't mind. You guys, I know this all kind of got born out of the break, but keep doing the show. Even when you guys get back out there, keep motoring with it. It's good stuff.
We appreciate it, Chad.
Berkey?
I'm going to start watching it. I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know about the Barnzy show.
Well, if you search for the Beef and Barnzy show on YouTube, you can catch up with all of the.
Yeah, I'm going to be all over it now. I like it. So
there you go.
Yeah, I saw that whenever I looked it up. It's cool. Yeah, keep doing it.
If you head over to the YouTube channel, I think that you might really appreciate listening to the Mark Baker one. Mark talks about his times on tour and some of the fun things that Mark Roth told him.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
like some of it's so applicable today. It's just it's very fun. Like listen to Baker talk about those stories.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll check it out.
So I will wrap it up here, Chris. I think that we're probably going to miss our first weekend. We didn't really line anything up, so we'll be back on Monday. I will tease our guest over the weekend, but I think we've got some more good stuff coming up next week for you.
All right, Mike, you got anything to say?
Thanks for having me. I think Chad's right when it comes to keeping this show going. I told you guys that as well, and I was an early adopter to your show. I think you guys have done an excellent job, and because you're professional bowlers and you know what you're doing from a broadcasting standpoint, you're a multi-tool player when it comes to this space. You also found this platform before any of us did, and we've all followed suit, those of us that are doing shows. So you guys are outstanding for doing the show. Keep with it and try to do it whenever you can, whenever bowling does resume, just like Chad said. Also, I think all of us here in some way, shape, or form have some sort of show or interest that we do in the industry. And I think what Chad did today and the interview that he and I did a couple weeks ago, it's nice to see Chad back out in the space and answering questions and talking with folks. And today's show was absolutely spectacular, I thought, using the same type of platform. So congratulations on your show you had today, Chad.
Thanks.
Jeff Goodger has excellent things going on over at FloBowling and on his own personal social media that he's plugging there on his white screen. And it was a pleasure today just to spend time with John Burkett as well today because, John, we've talked a couple of times, but watched you pitching with the Giants. And my favorite player of all time is Will Clark. So I absolutely loved having John on here as well today. And just make sure that if you love bowling, that you keep connected to it throughout this entire time. Make sure that you follow all the brands that you know and love. Give them support, the bowling centers, and as well as all the larger conglomerates as well. I do a show on Inside Bowling every day, Monday through Friday, with Matt Farber at 1 p.m. Eastern. Would love for people to come over to that as well. And with that, I would love to come back and do this again with you guys, and hopefully I didn't screw up your draft too much. Thank you.
On behalf of all of us, I want to thank you for actually employing Matt Farber. So we know that's no easy task. So Inside Bowling every week, and then our one true expert, Mr. Goodger.
Expert in what realm?
Bowling. You're the FloBowling Power Ranking senior producer at FloBowling. You are professional bowling's dulcet tones.
Thank you, Chris. And I did enjoy being part of a show that I didn't have to produce. However, it also was really irritating because I got a whole lot more screen time than I would if I were directing and producing this show. Here it is again. As Flanagan talks and I stare at it. Now at least I'm talking. So yeah, you should follow me on all of those things. Of course, you should subscribe to Bowler's Journal and turn right to the one board every month. You should subscribe to FloBowling. You should read all that stuff. You should subscribe to Bowl TV and the USBC YouTube channel. You should subscribe to the PBA YouTube channel. and I guess Beef and Barnzy YouTube channel as well. There you go, Stu.
Okay. Come on, Chris. We're on our last bit of oxygen here. Let's just.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hey, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and God bless. Thanks a lot for joining us for PBA Mock Draft 2.0. We'll probably look to do this again whenever we find out when the actual draft's going to be. Thanks to our special guests, Mr. Goodger, Mr. Flanagan, Mr. Burkett, and Mr. Murphy for joining us. And we'll all see you here on the Beef and Barnzy Show, 2 o'clock on Monday. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.